Show idam guru ranamanda niyataya me so ye chana la chanchu bado dani da soje la gi chenye gi be sonangi sange jubara show chana so ye chana la chanchu bado dani da soje la gi chenye gi be sonangi dola penje sange jubara show Togi Jonama Janjuba Tagi Juni give a donage and Dola Sanje Sanje Tuba Show. Can you tell me what page number?
We were on 138. We had just
138, okay.
had talked about that verse of Nagarjuna, the excellent teachings, and then Rinche was talking at the end about the different kinds of karmas and virtue and stuff. But we had kind of discussed that first.
Let's this. Inji the call it time. Oh, yeah. Hello. Yeah, this one.
No. Did
it under the Rinchen Chama Lunchi Dambo. Rinchen Chama de Reshi Ludi Nizani Rakshin Musum Chua Tau Nawan Kangi Tse Sejo. Which cross regular to continuously appearing doesn't stay with the mind. There's a time to, yeah, there's a time to name about Chawon.
The Samu Rashi the Shindu Topa Kawayesa, Chawata, Shindu Topa Kawayesa, and Jumde. Sang Jenny, Shashi Pito, Chuma Sumbachi Shubara. The Shubati, any dinner with Samu Chuti, Topa Kawalakone, the Jenam Topa Kawalakone, and the Shashi Pito. Chuma Sumbachi Shubara, said that is Shiri. This seemed to talk about the temperature.
So, right now, we are at this section that how profound this teaching is, and actually giving you reasons and all this quotation why this teaching is profound. One reason was that when Buddha gained enlightenment, when he gained enlightenment, he remained 49 days. He remained silent for 49 days, right? So this is because the topic is too subtle for normal people, normal beings, and that's why he remained silent for 49 days. These are the reasons why this teaching is profound. So then also this quotation is also one reason why this teaching is very profound and subtle.
Tati to kaya di karresina ranshi mebe tingne ane karasure chaching namsha ta ranshi meba ta tendi deba shumata ranshi meba ta tene tapa nibuti teni tapa chu nibuti sumdu jo tubati ta kanje Rashi mebe tingne chachi dinamsha therapy. Nita shim talk about the team, talk about it. They talk about the honest that talk about the theories.
So here it said that this teaching is very profound and subtle, and that's why he remained silent for 49 days, right? What kind of teaching is talking about here? So what kind of subtlety or the profound teaching? So profound teaching here refers to, there are many levels of profoundness, profound and the subtle, different subtle level of subtle, stuff like that, right? Okay, here in this particular profound, when we talk about profound or subtle, it refers to an understanding of, or the combination, an understanding of combination of the dependent arising and the lack of intrinsic existence. So that means be able to establish dependent arising based on understanding of lack of intrinsic existence. So that understanding is very subtle and profound. That's why he remained 49 days silent.
다티 인사 담은주 다리디 라시메 버튼 퍽고야 그거바디 셰이스.
So Mr. Sir, he's going to talk more about why it is important to expand or understand or study the profoundness or the profound that kind of teachings. Profound means like that kind of teachings.
다티 가르레스는 문주 아니 냐바 탐제 저 말이 버스니지 다두지 마세 말이 버스네 다두지 마세지 나티 말이 바티 도비치도 다조디 말이 바티 도비치도 라시메 다와티 전 팔야티들이 가르스네 문주 라시메 라시 최담냐 라시메 mambuchi shebe ba di shebe ko ya de kare sen zao ko ba tu le sen nyaba tamje zao mari ba tu ya mari ba am ta tu de ba jele tu ba ya sa digi ani mari ba am ta tu to ba di ta tu de ba do ba je ba la kare sen chue nam ki ran shi me ben ne ju ti she ko ya is
so what makes this teaching is profound and important. So because in this tradition or on this understanding and this kind of class or understanding, so we identify the root causes or the root problems of our negativities, and any problems is due to our maripa. Maripa means ignorance. Okay, so here ignorance, it refers to the self-grasping thought. Sometimes they call self-grasping thought or self-grasping, right? So that self-grasping serve or act as the root causes of our problems. Because of that reason, so this is very important. We need to talk about what is the counterforce for that, how to eliminate that. So there's only one way to eliminate or overcome that kind of self-grasping thought, by understanding the empty nature of the existence. If you're able to understand the empty nature of the existence, sometimes they call it the empty nature of the intrinsic existence, right? So if you're able to understand that, so then you can overcome the self-grasping. So if you're able to overcome self-grasping, so you will be able to eliminate the root causes of all the problems.
다티 그 마리바세야티 마시바시 그래봐 마시바세야티 마시야티 추 수수기 내주티 다티 라시메바세야티 추간데 텐두 때는 벌려야 배나 년바르비지는 년바티 텐두 라시메가 따왔던 패배야 여러분 배는 년바티 라시메아리 라시게 야마레스 그 년바르비티 라시기 조바지 나인데 년바티 나인데 잠바 콘주게야라 소바든스 배수 전부 게야디 그 년바티 라시기 조바르비치 난기야리 때나와에서는 년바티리아 콘주게야라 띵위야라 디나시 추 탐절라 라시메한테 추 탐절이 된도 퍼기에 퍼기에서는 추 탐제 라시메한테 시에바이나 아니 차단 아란들이 차단 걸로 세야지 펼쳐야지 내주 그거 내주 마셔봤을 때는 길이야리 그들이 내주도 마셔봤을 때는 아니 차단 기기야리 차단 기에서는 아니 나란들로 다 예바 탐제 동네 탐제 예바 탐제야 다 차단 되는 거야. 그래서 다디 차단이 도배치도 다 차단을 때 잡았다 동아를 봐. 이동하는 면에 차버를 지키 이동 명령을 들을 때는 시다를 지키기야.
So the self-grasping. So we identify self-grasping as the ignorant, right? Ignorant means ignorance. Ignorance means not knowing, not understanding, stuff like that. Actually, not being aware of anything. Like if you are unaware, that is called unaware or unknowing. That means ignorant. Okay, ignorant. So here, unknowing means we don't understand or we don't realize the actual nature of phenomena, things. So we don't understand the actual reality of the bad things, and also we don't understand or understand or realize the actual nature of the good things. So that's why, because of not knowing the actual reality of these two things, so then that actually causes problems in our life. Yeah. So then the in the basic I won't say basic in reality, if you look at the reality of the good and the reality of the bad are actually the same. There's no differences in that. Okay? But because of not knowing that, so then we recognize the bad thing as a bad and good thing as a good. Okay, so not knowing the basic, basic, what do you call this? Basic quality. Okay, basic quality. That's why we get confused. So then when we get confused, then it causes problems in our life. Okay? So the main problem in our life is attachment and aversion or hatred, right? Hatred. These two things are the main problem in our life. Yeah? So if you know the actual reality of attachment and the actual reality of the hatred, so then so if you know that, so then that will not actually become problems in your life, and they cannot actually cause any disturbs in your mind.
That things are when I sure of that Lelabrije Chabina Chur Kandi in Jundo to Gamubutilla. Keji Jundo to wear Penakian the Twenty, Jundo Mambu to Yerba, Yamba Marva. Kenji change Kenji change to Sambuta to the Jim. Kenji change to Nebeta to the Jim. Usually now. Kenji change ko sangbu da ju ji le. Kenji change to ko nembe da ju lu ji. Bena odi tinde chingwe ba. Di ko temba me jasan temba ya mare. Rashi ku tu mare, temba mare. Karasena ku gundo de kenji change to tamba ko gu du du ga. Yana yan du 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 ga. Sangbu de pa nemba la 쳐주지 야래 냠바티 상부 쳐주지 야래 가서 롤 차리인데 저도 뒤 차인데 좀 봤다 그 말한들 저다 냠바티를 타지도 냠바스진 숨기야라 봐 상부티를 타지도 상부를 숨네 아니 차단기기야라 봐 이래서 상부티를 타지도 Sambu never yamaris. Yambati touch it to Yambali never yamaris. Just how do you among to us, September Maris, at the Rapachen to Shen to say.
So, so when we say the basic reality of good and bad are same, so because even though if you look at one entity, one single entity, yeah, that single entity can take on different shape and different identification, and we recognize and we perceive them in a different ways. Okay, because because of it is because that object or that thing is lack of intrinsic existence. Only this is the reason why they changes. They change their shape. They changes their to our perception based on that object. So the even if you look at one object, one thing, okay, one thing, and sudden causes and conditions arise around that thing, so then we perceive that object as a good thing. Okay. So then if you change that causes conditions around that object, so that object takes on different shape or different identification or different perceptions, sort of like just different. So then we can identify that as a good thing, because of the changes, momentary changes of this, the causes and conditions around that object. That's why this changes. That's why we say these things are not truly exist. So otherwise, we normally our on kind of like the untrained mind, whatever you call this, the normal mind, right? Normal mind. So when we see bad thing, so bad thing, we believe that bad thing is absolute, and there's nothing. This bad thing is not depending on any other causes and conditions. It stands by itself. So because of that misunderstanding, so we feel bad about it. So we feel really, we kind of like arise to different types of emotion towards that object because we think that it's a bad thing, absolute bad thing. Okay, same thing. So into good thing. So when we see something we believe, we think that's a good thing. So we believe that this is absolute good thing. So then we arise with different types of emotions towards that object. We don't understand that all the causes conditions around that object can actually change that thing. So we don't understand that. Not knowing that, so that not understanding that, because of that not understanding, so then that actually causes problems in our life.
아란도리 기부를 주네 될 신자제니 신자 첨부제는 아니 강에 되들 봐 기부를 주는데 남질이야 미기베 내주딜레인 거 개지 체인도 그 기부디 기부가 나와셔야지 지 디파유네你见起这的，你都没给人是钱多啊。见这个钱的，这个电话给人是钱。这电话给人是电话钱就怎么得了现场几个点呢？这几个嘛，电话的见这个钱的可，刚才这钱的，刚才就入来了吧。你这边也是那可电话就呢，电话没是来新没上班的这边呢。아니 콜레 현자 친구끼리 말이 현자 친구 말기는 아니 대화디 매버리도 담바 아니 까니 친구 친 말아 그래서 거기 주 하고 차리 그 매대마다 임바다 콜레 지기 현바 친구 지 미리 버렸디 하고 이제 담바 대화지 중수는 대화디 제들 까니 치체인도 담바 아니 니치 가르수그래 마이키바 가르수그래 메데바 첨부 중으로 봐. 이 영향 내려. 강은 gen집 체인도 좀 봐. 대화디 매버 처리해라. 배는 안 한둘러. 뭐부지 체 뭐부지 중앙을 때니 지 가와 지께서는 가와 친구 지께서는 디 가와 친구 지께 수수기 지지 좀 봤대 딜에 가시 친구 지 미리 봤대 삼루당 이 가시 친구 제베는 디 제수께 직체인도 좀 봐. 아니 강에 체인 거야. 강에 체인도 좀 봐. 메시벨로디 아니 이거 말봐. 이거 말. 그네 주 티셔베이나. 저서 다디 그 라시면 세야디 라시면 세야 때문에 팝고야디.
Okay, so now and also everything is due to our perceptions. So then when the causes and conditions, sudden causes and conditions comes together, then we project, and that object perceive us in a certain way. So then we Sometimes we develop attachment, sometimes we develop aversion, hatred, and so on. This is actually what happening, right? So if you know the reality, how things can be changed and how things actually change momentarily based on their causes and conditions, right? So then when we experience happiness or our lives, enjoying, when we enjoy our life, so then we tend to develop very strong attachment. And even though if you look at like, nice and beautiful objects, so then we develop attachment, aversion, and so on. So this is something that we are not being able to, and we are not understanding the actual reality of that. So when we don't understand that, so then when we lose that, so when we lose like a beautiful object and relationship, whatever you call the good things or positive things in our life, right? When you lose that, we suffer, right? We suffer. So we suffer because we don't understand how things can be changed, the momentary change of the things, nature of the changing things. We don't understand that. Because of that, we suffer. So if you understand that, so then when we are going through a good time or having and gaining like some beautiful objects and wealth and so on, so then we don't overexcited with that kind of object, that kind of pleasure, that kind of happiness. So we know that that can be changed. That can be changed in second moment if the other causes condition arise around that things. So that can be changed. If you know that when it happens, you don't suffer because you already knew that it's going to happen because of the nature of these things, right? That's why they said that if you don't understand, so then if you don't understand how things can actually change based on some condition, based on causes and conditions, then we suffer. We suffer. We don't expect to change that thing, but it is going to be changed anyway, right? But if you know that initially, if you know that it's going to be changed, something, even though it's like good things going to be changed, so then if it changes, it happens, you don't suffer because you knew that it's going to happen. You accept that it's going to happen. Same thing you can apply to bad thing too. So some happen bad things in our lives, so we kind of like get into very the strong emotion and depression and so on, right? We go through like all these mental emotions. So, but if you know that the reality nature of the things, so that is a temporary thing. So then if you apply the right causes and conditions for that, that can be overcome because of the empty nature of the things. Empty nature of the things means that they are empty, they are not absolute, they are not truly exist. That can be changed if you change the right causes and conditions for that. So then it gives you some hope. It's not that you're going to depress all the time and you don't feel like this is something you cannot deal with or something like that. Everything can be manageable. You feel like everything can be manageable. That can be overcome in a period of time.
Oh, they just a that 10 days, 10 days, go 2 days. Chu condition it to varies. Any can let to varies. Can to varies to them, any Sambudi, any can let to varies. Sambu can change ko Sambuchi Nangiarva. Then young could Karasu, Sambu can get the test, ne Sambunayati Yamarva. Fu Sambunayati Karit came to bring you Kurang Mene Sambuchu to Shavichi maybe. I can't get to it. The Rimbusina, the Tundusiati, Domka, the Rimbula Shadu, Toka, Gilitude, Kurimbure Silva, Kurimbures. And Domka Toka to the Rimbure Silva, Chile Hagji, Domka let Hagji Jumusuna, Kotundu Redurva. 제가 림부터 툰두시야디에 그 타지도 툰두 인백 내가야 말이 겐지 체인도 좀바 툰두 겐지 체인도 림부 제가 그 툰두시야디 타지도 툰두 인백 내가야 말이 제가 가리네 Doja Hune, Rimbuta Tundu Set, Sambuta Never Seti, Sambuchi Dirty, Never Shari, Never Seti, Sambuti Tunisha, Rimbuta Tundula, Tindu Rimbulutuni, Krangi Monkone, Rimbus to Shabs Mary. Rimbuin and Tunduin as a decorative, Rimbuta Tundu Seti. Kura Yukurang when Jabarim would have China. Jabarim would Yukurang when it's Rimbunash to shop Maris. She doing it in Busharia. Or the Yasata, Dandy is to them, Yukurang whenever. Gang tell in December, any Judo Riati. Dentist, Gang the Dunis, Shaba Yasa. Around 9, you can the Dunis Shaba Maiba. Ukraine Menepa Yapurchina in Beer. Never 9, the Ukraine Menechi, Nembarechi, Chubachinabia. Sambuchina in the Ukraine Menes Sambuchina in the Teletin and Chadan Giliarba.
So again, the good and bad thing, right? Good, sometimes we recognize or identify something as a good and something as a bad, right? Good and bad is sort of like dependent arising. We say dependent arising. So that means it's something is good in relationship with something else, and something is bad in the relationship with something else. So we compare. Normally we compare, and then we recognize or we identify that thing as good or bad, right? Similar like we says a long stick. So if you have a long like 1 yard, so this is 1 yard, right? 1 yard. No, what is this?
Yard.
Yeah, what is this? We call 1 feet. 1 feet. I mean.
No, that's not 1 foot.
Anyways, okay. So then in Tibetan we have like
What do you call it?
we go measurement with hands, right? This is the way convenient. Anyway, so okay, so long and short, right? Long and shorts are relative. Just in relationship with like other object. So if you bring on like 1 stick, so you may think like you will say like I have a long stick, right? If you put it next to a longer stick, so then you will instantly sort of like it changes, your perception changes, so you feel like that is a short stick, right? Because you're comparing with long stick, yeah. But you should say this is a short stick. So if you put next to shorter stick, shorter one, so then you feel like this is your perception will be like this is the longer stick, the long stick, right? So that's why. So the long stick or the short stick, whatever, is not actually inherent exist, because that can change if you put next to, you compare with other object next to that object, right? You change it. Similar like that, bad or good, yeah, bad or good. So then when we have a bad thing, so if so normally we compare with good things. So then we feel like this is a bad thing. So then there are things that are the worse than what we are looking at, whatever we are looking at. If you compare with that, you will feel much better. So you will think like this is a nice thing, a nice thing. So that's why we always compare. So that means like that actually indicates that there's nothing real or absolute good or bad. It's totally depending on other, or we project. We compare with something else, and when we acquire different types of causes and conditions around it, so we change their perception. We can identify that as a good thing. When we change the other around, so then we feel like this is a bad thing. Yeah. So that's why. So all the things are not true, because they are dependent arising. Dependent arising, they can change their mood of their existence can change based on causes and conditions.
Oh, that is digital. Telepathy tambe cancer singing tobe part not said tobe part that something shooting you money and nothing it done never. When me pumbutu yala tong you do something not said lot jiggerba. ngagi yanar the twin ngas singing lot kigiare takanje nga sing lot jesiti tapine susu jalar bichile never chesune nga singing to game susu nga yala chile never chesune nga singing to game gurite and pajaga to be yala to sutin the nati tani nya meba pat mingta patam je mishuji 디 나디 파자가 치는 니야 잔메바 다디나 시추 강글로 기본이 제가 차르체는 다 참무체는 디리 나디 가산다 니야만의 시험을 나세야디 나디 나 유디네 두가 마리스 또배 파다 점레스 나세야디 또배 파다 점레스 유게테네 두가 짠이야 마리스 당나라도 놀나 이데 유게테네 여버신는 게 야래 어디 제 데이터 데리바
Chashidrisura.
예
Yes, yes. So I forgot to mention one thing before Rinpoche start this discussion. He said like if we analyze roughly, then this is how we do, comparing each other and how things are changes, depending on causes and conditions. So on all the explanation is if you do like a rough kind of like analyze. Okay. So then this is how we analyze things are dependent on rising and how things are empty of inherent existence and so on, right? So if you go more deeper, like a deeper understanding and into that kind of understanding, how things are existing. So then they ultimately you will say all things are mental imputation, or sometimes they're called merely label. So this level of understanding is very profound and it's the more subtle one. So they hear this. What they're saying is here in this tradition. What they're saying is that things are just merely imputation or merely label. They said that because, for instance, if you take an example as I, when we try to find that I, so normally we try to find that I on 5 aggregates. So 5 aggregates the imputation basis of imputation. Okay? We impute I based on these 5 aggregates, right? So then let's try to find that I. They said let's try to find that I. So if you if you try to find that I on each of these sections, each of these aggregates, you cannot find that I. There's no I that what you think is I. Okay, there's not that I at all. So that's why. So then how can we posit and how can we assert I? So then they said it's just merely label, just merely imputation, just your mind mental imputation. That is actually going to very subtle understanding of how things are lack of intrinsic existence.
어디 다디 여성분들 라심에 봤다고 때는 배우가야 조디다 마리가 고베치도 인스제 마리바가 고야데 가르레스는 마리바티 차단을 속도 되는 거지 인스제 차단 되네 아니 가르치 그랬으니 차바용들렘 마부서리야리 셰당 공길렘 마부서리야리 차당 공길렘 사발라티니 퀄리티리야리스 퀄리티리야리스 아니 두네티 위야리스 어디에서는 두네 탐지 자와디 라시메바 마시바라테니 융기야리스 어디에서 라시메가 라신도 송하라테니 차단라테니 아니 레 게메기사 레미기발라수바사 일레테니 레사발라테니 아니 레긴데부 네 드네나조부터 융기야라 어디 인사네 다 인디스텐 팝고야 디티체
So nevertheless, so the only reason to study or to understand the lack of intrinsic existence or dependent arising is to understand the actual reality of the things, how the things exist, and also is only purpose is to eliminate root causes of our problems, the root causes of problems. So to prevent us from that kind of the mental afflictions, arising mental afflictions. Okay, to prevent that. That's the whole reason. No matter how what kind of reasons or what kind of logic you may use. So this should be your goal. This should be your the purpose of meditating or the studying this topic. Okay, so Maripa here again. So and also why it is important to eliminate the ignorance or the self-grasping thought because of our ignorance, self-grasping. So then we develop attachment and aversion. So that attachment and aversion force us to engage in karma. So karma could be like two things: positive karma or the negative karma. Either one actually pull us down into the cyclic existence. So when we accumulate positive karma or the negative karma, so they will hold us, or will, as long as we have that kind of karma, so we remain in samsara existence. So that's why in order to liberate or escape from samsara existence, we need to cut out the root of all of our problems. That will be ignorance or the self-grasping.
디네 아니 라시메 바샤발라 때는 가리는 거에서는 영혼 배시원 차단 건 무슨 레사버지 인지야 말이야. 차단 레사버지 매주는 아니 코알레 좋았대. 말이 봐 가리다 라시메 베타와 시발라 때는 차단을 수도 있는 뭐 같은 게 까도 차단을 주면 말이 버티 중요한 거 까이도 좀 아니 예 님바스 레이 군주 생기티 매버리기야 레이 군주 생기티 레이 군주다 용어 군주 세야디 고파시지 티카페 고파시지 이제 지저를 되니 콜레 주어스 징바를 콜레 주어스 콜레 그 탈바트 보세요. 아니 뒤져서 라시메 같은 파발라티는 가리는 거에서는 이 간제 가르쳐 그래. 차당 레사부터 민주문제 민주원에서 기용의 과학적인 민주문제 과학적인 민주는 다 과학의 드라잉 과학의 드라이브리스 telling any
so that is actually how you think ignorant or the self-grasping, not knowing things lack of true existence can lead to attachment and aversion, and attachment and aversion can lead to karma, right? Karma can lead to the cyclic existence. This is one way to look at it. Okay, and this is kind of like something they call like a forward kind of order, something like they use, the different terms for that. Now you can use, you can look at and from a different perspective, sort of like something they call it reversal kind of process. Sometimes they call it cessation process. I don't know, whatever you call it. Anyway, so then here, how can the way in which you look is a little bit different. So you think once you understand the actual reality of the things, so then you think that if I cut off ignorant or the self-grasping thought or the self-grasping, so then there's no force or nothing that actually forced me to develop attachment and aversion. So attachment and aversion, yes. So that means like you're looking from the cessation perspective. So it's how they actually can cease So if you control, so if you cease your self-grasping thought or the ignorant, then you will not develop attachment and aversion. If you don't have the attachment and aversion, you will not create karma. Yeah. If you don't create a karma, so then you will not born into a samsara existence. This is how you can look. If you cease the prior causes, then the result will not be possible. You can look for that in that order too. Sometimes they call it like a reversal order, or sometimes they call it cessation order. Okay.
that is that Rashim have done a puppet. Rashim Rashim have a massive never shesuma. Rashim have a massive never tell Chatanti lesa, did in quality DJ. Rashim have a shiva in a career as an Nomaba short shigidis. Nomaba shiva in the less about the Maris. Less about the manner. Nay, legend quality what the Maris. The quality good set. That those numbers.
And also you can think of it as a different way. Sort of like the benefit of not the benefit, sort of like yes, the benefit of understanding lack of intrinsic existence and false or the false. You can false of not being understand lack of truly existence. Okay. So okay, now let's see false. Okay, false. It's not how do you say false? Disadvantage. Do you call disadvantage?
Yeah.
I think it's like just like
You can say false or
a
disadvantage.
mistake, sort of like a mistake, disadvantage. Okay, disadvantage. I would say a disadvantage. Disadvantage of not knowing things are lack of truly existence. So then you can go the first process. First process, like if you don't understand that ignorance is ignorant or the self-grasping, then you develop attachment. If you develop attachment, so because of not knowing, okay, this is the false, not knowing things are lack of truly existent. So then you develop attachment and aversion, but because of the not knowing, so then you will because of attachment and aversion, you create karma, then you go to the samsara. You go born in samsara existence. Okay. Now the advantage or the benefits. Advantage is yes, advantage of knowing that. Okay. If you know that things are never truly existent, you will cease attachment and aversion. You will not develop attachment and aversion. So if you don't develop attachment and aversion, then you will not create karma. If you don't create karma, there's no any causes condition, then it pulls you down to samsara existence. This is the advantage. Advantage of knowing that. And another one is that disadvantage is not knowing things are like truly existence.
Oh, just that temper sheet lesson. That the to make shape a child said the that to make them but a kunju temper said. Narando Kange tele to make them passing. Kange to Sukangolo to make them bus. Narando to make them but Narando call Ming Tata de Junda de Ming Tata to make shape a child said. To make the shape is jeopardy. To make a career is in it, to make it judic, career dos in some tangris. To make the how goes to make mark, to make the word which is deemed to make the any judiciary, to make point to be a loki marva. To make but the shares need to make point to be loki. Mental tigri, mental case in it. The courage out the courage and you want to meet the courage and cheto. Some tangerba. To meet the courage and cheto is some tanger. You down sooner, to make a cheat, that's so sweet. Any chartan letting. 차단했더니 이게 알아봐. 동네지. 차단이 근데 쓰는 것도 말이 봤어야 될 판도 알아봐. 제가 좀 되게 동네 시험하자 담보대 동네 시험을 했으면 동네 시험을 했어. 동네 마시는 가르쳤으나 아니 동네 본들로 지금 해버려. 동네 본들로 마치는 아니 동네 크라라 쳐들을 시다니 동네를 대원지 아니 동네 본들로 마치는 아니 군주를 이미 스타야지 조지 매버려 뇽모보다 얘도 뇽모 빼니라 아니 뇽보대한테 매버지 아니 얘도 뇽모 시원도 판 누구야 봐 얘도 뇽모 tilpa 야부치든 그냥 니 le ngamba chiya tu su sambura chita gyarba te tani yarba chita le ngamba chiya indu tele sambuta chuti yarba ta ju yare chadang singati yaputa ju yare chapa singati kugri singati yare chapa singati kugri yare singati yebe ta ku chapa undu sun ne kugri le mambuchi ne saduye ne kange mambuchi chea ku du mambu saduye ro chata ta tende ne ti shiburi ne ti tunge machine kyo karriere sene tunge machine tunge pondu looking maris tare tunge pondu looking sene ani tunge juti karriere sawachi ene tunge juti kunjung singiti nyamonta leila andi tingi ke sawachi karriere sene mari bare chen tu simba chen ani mari bato
So that's why this maripa or the ignorance, the not knowing things are lack of truly existing is the main problem, right? That's why when Buddha taught, he said, understand the nature of suffering, the nature of suffering. This is a very a profound statement because if we don't recognize, if we don't understand suffering as a suffering, right? So then, if we mistakenly, sort of like if we mistakenly believe some sort of suffering is and happiness, the suffering is of happiness, so then we will never bother to uh, uh, um, avoid or the abandoning that kind of things, right? So we are believing that this is actually happiness or pleasure or happiness because of that. So then that's why Buddha said, understand or recognize suffering as a suffering. Okay. So then if you don't do that, so then you if you don't suffering as consider suffering as a suffering, and instead of doing that, so if you believe this is happiness, you may engage more onto that. So that's why constantly you're actually you believe this is some sort of like happiness, but you're doing kind of like suffering, and then you're constantly going towards that sort of suffering. Yeah. So then, if you know the exact value, or you can say value, or the real nature of the suffering, so then you will be annoyed, or you will be feel terrified, so you will not happy with that kind of happiness and sufferings, right? Sufferings. So then that means like that kind of feeling is indicate that you wanted to get away from that kind of situation, that kind of feelings. And if you have that kind of feeling, you will begin to that actually force you to find out what are the causes of that, sufferings happening to me. So then you get into the second type of truth. So this is the first one is the truth of sufferings. Okay, suffering. Truth of suffering is when Buddha said, understand suffering as a suffering. So he was talking about truth of sufferings. Okay, so if you don't understand suffering as a suffering, so you will not begin to find what are the causes of the sufferings. So if you understand sufferings as suffering, so then you will begin to find understand the causes of the sufferings. So when you get into that, then you will see that because of my karma, you can tell like my karma is actually forcing me to experience all the sufferings. Yeah. So then you will say like how I created in the first place, how I created that karma. So then you will find that my emotions, like mental emotions, like attachment and aversion, actually forced me to accumulate or created that all these karmas. So you'll find that. So then you will find like where that actually mental emotion, attachment and aversion came from. First of all, how they actually arise into my mind. Then you will see because of not knowing all things are true, like lack of true existence. That actually leads you to that point. So then you will understand if you don't abandon that, if you don't know, if you don't realize how things are exist and how things are lack of truly existence, so then you will not able to overcome all of your sufferings.
어디 서 아줌데테 담부군에 저 담부군에 수용인도 좀 동네 시가 차스제 티티 나도 삼나 제바 말아 동네 마시베 온게니 아니 동네도 마시베 온게니 니가 mambu 준비하러 와서 동네 시가 차스야디 담부 순들이 다티 가르스는 동네 시에서는 동네 임바티 시에서는 아니 그 율레 제주 지그리 율레 제주 전에 파타들이 아니 두스전 두그리 있었다면 랭잉이 버티 교인 바하고 그럴 때는 아니 디니 랭이 자와티 말이버티 제제때네 두그리 시기를 바타티 인산이 다 문제 가르쳐 그래. 동네에 자와티 나도 차단 투디야. 가리는 나도 차다 동네지 배나 동네 가리지네 아니
Dilashane.
아
Dilashane. So this
이때다 마시아처럼
So the when Buddha said understand suffering as a suffering, he didn't mean or he didn't purposely trying to harm sentient beings. Okay? So because we already have tremendous kind of sufferings already, but he's not trying to give you extra or add on your sufferings. Okay, so his main purpose is to bring aware in like ordinary beings like us. So normally we get confused with what exactly sufferings and the happiness or the good things, the bad things, stuff like that. Okay? So then he said, when he said understand suffering as a suffering, so then when we understand the reality or the nature of the suffering, then when we begin to like we curious, we will like be curious how that actually come into me or exist into me, sort of like. So then you will find out the causes and the conditions that actually lead all the way to finding all the things that are lack of true existence. This is the method to lead to understand the actual things, how things are a lack of true existence. This is one way to lead you to that kind of understanding. That's why he said in the beginning, they understand or realize or understand suffering as a suffering.
어디서 가시 동네 시인도 담바 동네디 니엘이 시 동네 시인도 담바 가본 매진이 주도가 진행해야래. 그래서 니엘님만 지제리 그래서 무엇이 좀 내가 니엘 동네 담바 산적이 거시시네 아니 아니 Kawata, Chuata, Nawas, Sini, Ani Sini, anything to June, Karasure, Raptujune, any Karasure, Katula Pedua, Table, Kadesena, to miss civility, Gashi Civil, Dinashi, Nichum de Deli, to me Shivaja, Stambut Sumberva. You got us in it, any demand Tewara Jinjine, demand machine, could develop Jinjinja Denia, and Shuma Karasure. Legs, the legs of the deputies in Yunkuirva, Taria and Marcula, to me to Mashivajet, Tewara Jinjinja Dene, any ku shuma leg chadang leg deputy karasuwe ani deware chitani ani chadang leg juburba jusuna ku shuma mixe yamare ku tungal de mashive cheni tungal deware chitare devare de ku ani shuya ti tungai debut karasa leg debut ani tungai ti nyong ku yare mashi nye shenye dile sa nyong ku yare tungai tu sheba ina tichi tungai judila kaju ini meju bachigirwa mene pati meju bachigirwa ti chesuna ni karasure Jesu kangen chimbuting marwa tadi sare tanda arandu tunne sheba jasi tumba tunne sheba ina kadu dile samaji ingurba yone ya susul kirsan samjiragiya tunne develop jinji tebe ina any yare
So I'm a DC like Laurwe. Anyway, so let me just begin with when he was first time coming to United States, he gave teaching in Washington DC, and he began with the teachings on the the dad aging, ill, and so on, right? Stuff like that, that stuff, right? And some people actually offended, right? Was offended, and they said no, anyways, offended. And actually, this is, but they didn't like his teaching. There are few of them, though. Not all of them, the few of them, right? But even if we look at Buddha's life story, we're talking about the Buddha Shakyamuni, okay, Siddhartha, Buddha Shakyamuni, right? He was a prince, and still he abandoned all this luxury kind of lifestyle and get into the practice, Dharma practice, right? So if you look at the story, so only there he enjoyed all his life, stuff like that, but nothing actually forced him to do Dharma practice, except when he was traveling, then he had four different types of incidents, right? Like seeing aging people, old people, and all this, dead people, sick people. It's not that fourth then actually. Anyway, so that actually triggered him, forced him to do the Dharma practice. Then he realized that how we are actually suffering, right? That actually forced him to do Dharma, nothing else. He had all enjoyment in his life. Nothing actually forced him to do the Dharma practice except that incident, that four incident, right? Similar like that for us. If we meditate or if we think about how we suffer, the nature of the sufferings, that kind of understanding force us to do Dharma practices. Nothing else can do that. Yeah. So then, if we think about our sufferings, how we suffer, right? What suffer. So then, if you think about it, if you study about it, meditate on that, that actually gives you a lot of benefits. Like first of all, it will prevent you to engage into any negative actions. That actually reduces the future kind of sufferings by doing that. Because of you understand all the sufferings, the nature of the sufferings, right? But you may think like if you don't aware of all these things, the sufferings, the nature of the sufferings, how we create the suffering, stuff like that. But you may not actually experience all this effect by doing all this negative. But that is not the case. So if you do negative actions, whether you know about it or if you know about the nature of the negative karma or the suffering stuff like that once you create the karma, so you're going to experience that result, whether you know about it or not. Okay, so that doesn't count, right? So then if you don't know about it, and there's a disadvantage of it, not knowing that. So when you don't know about it, when you suffer the result, you can actually bear that. You can actually take it because you don't understand the nature of the sufferings, right? But on the other hand, if you know the nature of the sufferings, so then even though if you create some negative karma, so you're going to suffer, when you suffer it, you can accept it. You can think like, so yeah, so I did something that's why I'm suffering because of this is my negative result. But that will not give you any further sufferings. It will not give you any extra suffering, stuff like that. If you don't know that, so then you will feel like why I'm suffering, I haven't done anything wrong, I things something that I've been doing good thing. You consider all these negative things as a good thing, right? So you think like I've been doing all these good things, but why I'm still suffering? You cannot take it. That actually gives you more suffering because not knowing the actual or the reality nature of the sufferings.
다디 근데 대화디 동네디 대화는 디세 동문에 파 동네디 대화인 하마고 동네디 동네인 하마고 진의 대화를 진기하라 봐. 전주 생각이야. 동네디 대화를 따야지. 이 동네인 시기야리 그배원기 대화를 따기야리. 근데 좀 되게 담을 유지 짐바디스 담을 유지 짐바디스는 지 가서 밤에 배배 신경 강에 써야겠지도 아니 가시 조신도 담을 유지 짐바봐 이 동네디 대화를 붙일 따기야 봐 이거 배운 비치기야 동네인 거 신이야 나랑도 그때 동네 대화인 것을 써야 돼. 동네 그러면에 대화를 붙이 마시네 대화를 붙이 따기야 봐 뒤집에는 아니 추가 침벌 봐. 나 제주 생각하는 대화 동네 대화도 따서야 돼. 그것이 제주 생각하는 가게 지체인데 랭님의 대부분 수 삼바를 지지야. 야 다시 냠지기 지 가르치고 생기 동네 수 당들래 랑게 동네 뒤에도 생기 동네 이제 네티간도 민바셔서 수 당들래니 이것도가 저 동네 뒤 대화를 짓더기야 돼. 뒤 가가라 봐. 응? 동네 구매하지 누가 아니 제선에 여러 강에 지체인도 전주 선바들이 생기 강에 탐지 랑게 강에 된 레니 당돌는 게 여러 봐. 대화 동네디
Kuva yorse karsu. Kuva yorse.
소사야
Society kuva yorse just laure.
심지어 강에서 이야기 그거야. 소사야 그거야.
담을 유진 체에 society kuva yorse laure.
그때 생기 동네에서야 되게 telete ni kawa kawa jachim di nandiar katu jachim di nandiar hika shengi chebe tu mesechitu.
So as we said that we should not see suffering as in happiness. We should not see the our suffering, right? Our suffering as happiness, sort of happiness. But when we look at the Bodhisattva practices, yes, the Bodhisattva practices, one of their practices said that turning all these misfortune into fortunes, right? So that means like they are willingly going through sufferings, yeah. So, and then they're willingly endure like all these sufferings. Okay, so that is because they have purpose. They have reason for that. That's why they do that. For instance, normally we said, so the sufferings, we should not see suffering as a happiness. We should see suffering as a suffering, right? Suffering as a suffering. So then, what about Buddha when he fed the tiger family, cutting off his own flesh from his body, right? Body, and feeding all this the tiger family, right? So then is that actually seeing suffering as a happiness or what? Yeah. So then he has a purpose for that. So but it's because he actually looking at all these families, the tiger families, they are starving and they're about to kill each other, and then they are really like going through like a really strong kind of like a starvation, right? So in order to give that kind of ease from that starving, so then he cut off his body and give it to them, right? But so that is for him, for Shakyamuni Buddha. So that is very joyful kind of experience. Okay, so you look at that, and then so then when we do Tonglen practice. So when you do Tonglen practice, we give away all of our happiness to other people. We are checking up on all the sufferings of the other sentient beings, wrapping up in us. We're taking all this, right? So then this is also taking suffering as a pleasure kind of happiness, sort of happiness. And also when Buddha, when Bodhisattva they suffer, they don't think that as a suffering. So they think that is a fortune, good thing, because they feel like this is actually one way to burn their bad karmas. Okay, but they're not suffering. They're actually, I won't say like enjoying, but they're not actually seeing suffering as suffering. Okay.
다 제사 동에 다들 일마 파베 temba 시중베 제사 동에 시에바 자스 상기 중대들이 동에 시에바 자스 담부군에 동에 시에바 자스에기 수미아티 가르레스는 동에 시에서는 동에 줄라 제주치그리 디제서는 레니니데 동에 규인베 시그리 절대는 아니 마리바티 디자인 바시그리 스토스젠 동에 시에바 자스 담부에 동네 시에바자스, 되네 군주방와자스, 군주방와자스 두tam바 동네 시에서는 이 주디 가르레스는 군주 레주 군주다 님몬부 군주님 타고 있는데 디주 동네 주 아니 방구리스 동네 시에바자 군주방와자스
Then when Buddha taught the first teaching, right? He said, understand suffering as a suffering and abandon causes of sufferings, which is truth of origin, right? Truth of origin. They're talking about truth of origin. So when he said understand suffering as a suffering means he actually encouraged us to find out the causes of the sufferings. So then when we go through all this analysis, so then we find that not knowing lack of interest in existence is the main causes of our sufferings, right? Sufferings. So when you know that, so then you need to abandon the causes of the sufferings. So then it comes second, you said abandon the causes of the suffering. So what are the causes of the suffering then? But the causes of the suffering will be karma and mental afflictions. Yeah.
다들 또 고방문도 자스 디실라 고방문도 자스는 그래. 다들 동네를 군주나 본주로 끼는데 아니 뒷방배 방바 이미 로치기 용 거래. 방바 이미. 방유 방바 아니 이미 로치기 인도네 디기 유사네 Then government to chase, goba said the name go and goba. To name go and goba and to name pamba tea, not to chase, government to chase.
So then the third noble truth is called truth of cessation, right? Truth of cessation. Truth of cessation comes into exist because so when we look at the first we look at the nature of the suffering and then the cause of the sufferings, right? So then even though if you know the nature of the suffering and the cause of the suffering, if there's no possibility to get away from that and there's no use of that, right? Then you need to find out is this something you can avoid or you can abandon. So then you will need to find out is there any place or is there any way you can abandon all this mental affliction under the first two truths. So then that means the Gobang Wunduche. Gobang Wunduche means the path of cessation. So that means undertake or adopt or realize path of cessation. Okay.
Then Lam Kumbachasini, Gopati Ganesh Chigresini, Gopati Tameva Tobe Lam the Kunguris, Gobatovana. 다음에바 또 남 공부하자스 고방도 제발다 탑가를 때니다 니 고방도 자고 있는 자고바티 자고그레스다 고방도 제발라 lam congress, time but to the lam congress, time ever since that Rashim ever to the lamdi congress. That it did in a month, Chesuna to Nishivacha, Steve Kunju, Tinapa government jazz, in a papa judge lam combacha set lamdi, Rashim ever to the lamdi, combachas, lambi temba. What that is this year. The woman jubilee to her.
Woman jubilee.
She made a tear.
Shepherd council.
Correct.
Woman jubilee. The column comparcha chiches. Correct.
lam combacha.
근데 괜히 세기도 돼. 차베 스티니 송구에 왜 지난 다가 송구에.
네.
다가 송구에 알게.
대신나.
근데 배제 조우도 근데 차베. He's not looking at the text actually.
Right.
Sorry. He was pointing on the text. I thought he was looking at it. Listen. Okay, so then once you discover the possibility of liberation or possibility of abandoning all these first two truths, right? So then you need to find out how you can do it, how you can get there. Sort of like when you discover like the second world, right? Then how you can travel that, sort of something like that, how you can travel to that, another world. So then it comes into like the another noble truth, truth of path. Okay, path, right? So then how can you do that? So then in order to get over there, in order to get liberation, so you need to abandon the karma and the what's it, mental afflictions. Okay, mental afflictions. How can you do that? So there's only one way to do that. So knowing the like applying the counter force, sort of like, or the knowing the lack of true existence. Okay, understanding lack of true existence. Another word means emptiness, right? Lack of true existence. So then when you use it, when you use that path, when you realize that, so then you can gain to the path of cessation. Yes.
다디 당연하지 남주 냠내데 페나 콘도 첨부주 원도 제네 니 마고 버르고제 강에 니 얘네 니 마고 아니 지 도제 산에 신부메 강에 진구르바 강에 디 슈트나 아니 그남주 냠내데 강에 디 동네시바 자세디 강에 디 연주점 다디 가르제도 선다 콘도지기 제샤선 콘도기 교딩을 심버바 이 콘도지 제제다 콘도지레 투무르 다야 콘도지 슈처르 다야 중처르 다야 슈만의 지 콘도기 제도 지 콘도지 가야 비치도 바로 버틸래 아니지 가르쳐 그래 니 준주 나를 콘도데 가야 치도 그게 랑기 많이 말 제야지 야르바 심지어 탐제 말 제야지 야리 준주 나리야 아니 지 아니 진들이 파를 붙들려 콘도 가야기 탐남만 비야르바 어두스 제네니 탐디 제 군주 방아차 세야디 충다 다야들 나라도 단대 냠내디 가르르스는 강에 지체서는 강에디 제베디 체서는 강에디 가르르 중도 왜는 콘두첸 콘두제니 강에 체비를 봐 안에 단이 먹고 갔다 또 제신 분명 갔다 안에 지 류를 나자르부터 연구를 봐 어딘지 좀선이 가르쳐도 선이 콘두들을 지금 하고 그러 이 콘두들 연다 하고서는 그 콘두들 보야 이미 다니 그 슈브충을 다야 유린부터 유tun두수야 슈잡부터 슈춘주수야 네 봐지네 아니 이네 상무단에 그 그래 봐 이가야도 최든 거 보면도 자세하게 소들이 이 타남 그 최디 니 람 공부 자세하게 람디 콘도 마중을 따야게 상무만 따야지 알아 봐 서버걸 상무만 따야지 봐 서버금이야 콘도도 메타하고서는 콘도디 본도 로직이 들렸더니 니 콘도디 유명하게 지도 서버금이야가 서버도 시제버디 동네 시에봤자 군주 방아차 고방만도 자세디 그 총으로 따야다 딘데지 딘데 총으로 따야 탑시티 거래서는 나무 공부자 세고 서버라 서베 팽이를 써 아니 콘도 이메일 써도 수사 어디디 어디봐 이제 다디 단단한도 냠숨해야 돼 되리 고된다 두수 단다 야 말이
So okay, now so this is how we think about Four Noble Truths. Okay, Four Noble Truths, right? Okay, now how can we apply this understanding in our daily life? Okay, so in daily life, so first, let's say, for example, okay, for instance, so when we develop strong aversion, okay, when you are very angry, right? When you're angry, so that anger actually cause you lose less kind of interest in food or appetite, right? Lose your appetite, right? And actually it will not let you sleep well. It'll take away your sleep, right? Sound sleep, right? And it will cause a lot of problems in your lives, right? That anger. Now when we're taking example as an anger, okay? That anger actually can cause a lot of problems in your life, right? You can look at all these natures. These are all of these nature are suffering. If you're not able to go to bed, this is a suffering. If you're not able to eat, this is a suffering, right? And this thing about that. This is actually looking into truth of sufferings, sort of like truth of suffering. Okay. So now you need to, since you know these are not good, and since you realize this is suffering, you don't want them, right? Then you need to find out the cause. What is the cause of that? And then you will find like getting angry at somebody or anger. Oh, okay. So no, actually, okay, I messed up a little bit. Not able to sleep, not able to eat, not able to settle your mind. Sort of like these are all suffering. Okay, so then okay, suffering you can eat, right? Then you need to find out why it's happening to you. And no, sometimes you will find, one cause would be your anger. Okay, your anger. So that is the causes of your, the uneasy sleeping, losing of appetite. I got a little bit reverse. Sorry. So this, so anger will be the cause. That is actually looking into the truth of origin. Okay, origin. Okay. Now what do you want? So you wanted to get free from that anger. I mean, like that's free from that kind of situation, like the not having sound sleeping, not having good food, and stuff, not enjoying your food, stuff like that, right? Okay, now if you look at, can you do that or not? So of course you can do that, right? How can you do that? If you eliminate anger, so then you will be happy. Can have like a better sleep. You can enjoy your meal and so on, right? So this is your, looking into the possibility to get away or overcome that kind of situation. Yeah. So then how can you do that? So now you need to apply antidote for that. So that antidote would be antidote to overcome that, the path, sort of like to the path, right? It's like a practice patience. Yeah, practice patience. And practice patience. There are many, many other practices, like if you look into the Chanda Kriti's Aryachara. Aryachara?
Comparative?
No, no, no. Entering to the middle way?
Yeah.
Junju. Okay, Junju. I think they call Aryachara. Aryachara?
No. What did you just say?
Okay, entering into the middle way. Okay. So in that text, he said, so you should see all sentient beings as your mother, and this is the one reason you are not supposed to get angry at anybody, right? You can use that as, reason, right? And Chunjuna Shanta Harishun speaking.
Is that Shantideva?
Shantideva, sorry,
Bodhisattva's way
Shantideva.
of life.
Bodhisattva way of life. Shantideva, yes. Chunju dina Harishun some Senja
가리
Tam.
가리.
Chunju dina Rola Gomyadi, Senja Tam Mayin body, some.
아니 다지 진주 나라 때 예를 받는 중이. 진주 나라 예리 엄만 주변 나라 예리. 그래서 그래. 미도 소소지 이제 담바 멤버지 주다 주미시다 남주 조지지. 아니 다지 되게 최들다 남대기 최디. 남대기 최디 공주의 년복이야.
어디로
남대기 최디 가르래서는 공주 공주의 년복이야. 공주의 년복 공야티 서바 공야들 봐. 서바 공주 그래서 공부에서는 공주의 님이 상고야. 공주 다 공주 전에 가르치기에서는 더 믿어 붙이기리. 더 믿어 붙이기리. 아니 랑 남주디 초두리. 그래서는 더 믿어 붙이기 하리. 되네. 공주 친구 남백거수 아니 가르치고 랑기 남주시야도수 마신바 다 초니 아니 마인바 감각 지리야 봐 아니 지금 참배 남주 잠바를 지금 그 잠바다 잠바다 니지 공부 유산 장바디 니주 공부 남주 체디 남주 제디 초주에 엄투야 말 남주주 아니 메스 아니 메스바이 뉴도 치마 가르치기 쓰는 내손디 지그리 콘도게 메두수수 지제 담바 멤버티 주도 주미시면 남주 기부 담바 많이 받아 집을 지그리 주도 남주 그지 메스바이 뉴도 메두주와 지스 다디 나 담부 미치산 서바기 네 가르치지 서베시에서 담기 이제 남주도 서바기 수 제바제바
동주인 것 같아.
남주 아니 남주도 된바지바 남주 내가 그랬으니 아니 지만내 순도 믿기와 아니 네 담반 기부 담발 주기와 기부 담발을 제가 너한테 디레기 있는 거 다도 수금야지
람네라고.
람디 kumbechetere tanda mundu lamdi yamarba
So this, for instance, like truth of path, right? Truth of path is again it says in Shanti Deva entering to the middle way, right?
Bodhisattva's way.
What is the way of life? It said meditate on patience, okay? And also let me see a quote from like the Chandagita is entering to the middle way, okay? And then he said, Midupa. Midupa means anger will cause you, your appearance becomes ugly and cause you deformed, sort of like deformed, right? And Namju Chok means like it will take away your skillful judgment, sort of like. And we say normally when you are a conscious person and a good person, a very wise person, and when you under the power of the anger, so then you become more like dumb, right? So then you cannot you cannot make a right decision at that moment because of your anger, right? And Mr. Ngendo means that anger can lead you cause you lower REM experiences, lead you to born into lower REM. It means. And then the Namjojo Tamba member means because in that text, primary goal is to practice love and compassion, right? Love and compassion. If you get angry, so then practicing love and compassion. When someone practices love and compassion, we consider that being as a noble being, very kind person, kind being. So then if you do that, if you develop anger, so then you will dispel from that group. Dispelling yourself from that group. Okay. That means that you're not becoming a nice person or good person or something like that. Okay. And then if you do practice patience, so then you will have all the opposite of that. You will have like a nice figure, nice appearances, and you will make the right judgment. You will not want you to lower them. You will become noble beings. Stuff like that, right? So these are the path of the path of truth. What's it? Truth of the path. Okay, truth of the path. How you do this? You're looking into the negative aspect of your anger and benefit not getting angry and not being angry. Sort of like the patient, practice of patience, right? So in reality, in actual sort of like when we say path of truth of path, so that is very kind of like highly realized kind of attainment, right? We do not have this at this moment, but we have a similar kind of practices. For instance, so if we get angry, we can apply all these antidotes for your anger. That actually considered as a path. Considered as the truth of path, but that may not actually actual truth of path, but that is similar to truth of path.
다때네 고방문도 잘 세약 주디 아니 디데냐 버템 발라테니 니 콘도 슈고 춤을 따야다 콘도 니 你语通的大呀，看着修穷的大呀，我都是的，当我的我把的去的，这个毕竟我把写的看着帮不了这个吧，那样就这些我把的个人的是呢，语人不叫我的通的当我的，语人不得干不了，아니 디네 콘도 슈 첨부 이라디 춤 단소는 슈 첨부 디까버려 어디에서는 디 고바세야 디 고방문도 제세요 추들이
So, as to the path, so looking into the disadvantages or advantages, disadvantages of anger and advantages of the patience, practice of patience. So then that actual practice will reduce your anger, intensity of your anger, and actually it is interrupt your anger, continuation of your anger. It will not remain for a long time. So it kind of like, cuts, kind of interrupts sort of like a continuation, duration of your anger, right? These are the positive effect from that practice. So then we can consider that as a path of cessation. Actual path of cessation is it should be free from any types of anger, but so far we don't have that kind of ability. But we have ability, or we have ability to control our power, like the anger, the control in the sense of like reducing their intensity and reducing the duration of the anger, but not from the root totally uprooted, but we can reduce the duration and the intensity. So that is something we can consider as path of cessation in our daily life.
다디 되네 군주방 자세야 군주티다 콘두팀바다나 아나주 년한테 콘두 야리 저자야리 가리니 군주방 자세 콘두팀바 아니 동네시바 자세 콘두기 동네 콘두 딜레테니 주에 동네 팀바 어때 콘두 딜레테니 주 동네티 시바라테니 아니 콘두티 파 콘두 리님바티야티 제선 콘두티 빵고 삼바티 콘두티다 내가 소고 삼사람지 기그르바 근데 군주 빵을 잘세야티다 군주 단지티 단나라주 냠나데 지야티 이티 야레 군주 싱이티 야레 나라주 단자 야레 고 동네시바 자세야티 야레 당 고바다 남니부티 야마르바 디추디다 단지티 체수나 사자다 군주 빵을 잘세야티 디네로스 군주티 콘두티 이제 니몬도 군주세야티 콘두티 이제 콘두티 군네란디 레지사브리 콘두 군네란디 레지사브리 레세야 치사기야 레제브르바 콘두치 제인드 레지사브리 콘두제니 베나 밀리치지 치주치 마와이나 디 레시리 콘두티기 레티티리 지레티 콘두티기 가르제브리스네 콘두티 군네란디 치주 마와르바 밀레야 미다주르지 냠바르치 타야치 주스나 리기 남주 냠바치 텐스네 콘두티 군티 콘두지레리 레드리 니 콘두레드 가르샤우레스네 콘두 군네란디 니 밀레 남주 냠바테야 안지 치네 냠바 마야 거두스다 콘두 레디 콘두 레디 콘두 디모티제 넘어베 군주 세야티제 레지 군주 세야티 콘두 군야난디 니 리기 남주 냠바테 나기 치 냠바 마야라서 다투 수제야티 레지 군주 시니트리
So then the first two truths, truth of origin and truth of sufferings. So the truth of origin is like, for instance, anger. Then when you get angry, so then you kind of, even your appearance changes, change. changes your appearance. So you are looking them into a certain way, very kind of like what you call this. Um, um, anyway, so looking them into like rolling your back, eye back, something they call something like that, right? And then you're looking them into even like action, like looking them into a certain way, very negative way, in negative way. All of these are actions, karma, okay, karma. So that creates, karma, right? So this is how we create all these negative karmas, right? But when you look at the first two noble truths, we at this moment, it's in the current status in our existence, we have them all intact perfectly. Okay? But we don't need to mimic or we don't need to pretend to have that kind of the first two truths. We already have it. Have it. But the next two truths, we do not have them. We don't have them yet, right? But we need to do something similar to the true truths, like your practice, something like that. But when we contemplate on the first two truths, so you already have it, that is actual and that is real in our existence. So we create, out of our anger, we create karma. For instance, looking somebody in a certain way, like what, anyway, certain way. So then that is actual actions. That action actually come from your anger, right? So then we have first and second truths, very in fully kind of intact, like everything. But the next two we need to uh, pretend, sort of like that. Okay, we stop here. And do you have any questions? No questions. Okay.
One simple question. Okay. Then what you mentioned about my question is that what bodhisattva has negative karma. What's the cause of their negative karma? And if they do have it at their mental status, will they still impact them? Can you say that louder?
She's asking, do bodhisattva has mental karma, not mental karma.
Will
Okay.
they still have the?
Do they still have karma? Okay. And your second question is like, do they get effect from the karma?
Yeah, even if they do, will they
do they
get so
effect
their
from the karma?
mental status? Will
Okay.
they still get effect?
Okay. That is what 전주 셈바이라.
음.
전주 셈바라 레 미게와 요르베스. 안 레 미게와 요바이나 콘솔라야 아니 디 요르베스. 레 미게와 디 콘솔라야 아니 베나 디부디 연그레베스. 스고.
야리 전주sem바 전주sem바 소남바다 조남바 야르바 두슬라 레 야리 레기 옹기 레기 넘버 멤버 삼이죠. 제 당이 체양 돈들이 계스. 레기 아니 레기 넘버 멤버 삼지 미쳐가 있어. 제 당이 전주 sembat도 돈들이 계야 이제. 어떤
또 요르라고 그러다. 요르스. 디 디부디 연그레스.
다디 돈들이 계야 이제. 다디 전주 sembat이 미겨도 흉주 임바르바.
돈들 모두 신 냐월 게임에. 냐월 이거 게임에.
냐월 게임에. 돈들이 계스.
Okay, first of all, bodhisattva, yes, they do have negative karma, and they can experience negative karma, effect of negative karma. For instance, bodhisattva, especially when bodhisattvas are in the first two paths, like the path of preparation and path of accumulation. Tholam, Jolam, okay, path of Tholam is path of accumulation and path of preparations. Okay.
남도 마시고 있는 두 레니버사 디 마타 베네그 야르바 두수.
So they do have negative karma, and also they do experience effect of their negative karma. In the scripture, it said that Also, the karma is so profound and very too subtle, right? Very subtle, difficult to apprehend. That means another word. That means very difficult to apprehend. So you cannot actually fathom sort of like how karma actually works. That means okay, very subtle and profound. So even bodhisattva, they had to experience lower realm. They did experience animal realm, and they had to born into animal realms. So the Buddha said that indicates that bodhisattva they will born due to their karma. They can be born in animal realms, but not the other two lower realms. Because other two lower realms are like what's it? Preta? No, Preta, right? Preta,
Yeah,
ghost, hungry ghost,
And
and hell realms. Okay. The reason is because they're even though they have karma, their karma are not that heavy. In order to be born into these two realms, you have to have very heavy karmas. And then you will say how they actually create their karma. So their karma can be from before they enter into the path. They can create karma before they enter into the path. They carry the potential or the propensity of their karma into the path. That they can actually experience the result of that.
디네야 유림부터 이제 가르쳐 그래. 토론 디
Pulmadamya use
폴리터버디 폴리 마탑스네 야 펄그레바 지 유림부 냐와네 가르쳐 그래.
to
중에 띵냐네 디네 내베 토론 따바 참세 지야래.
and then when which they experience suffering of the lower, I mean, like the animal realms are very different than how we suffer. Yeah. So their moment, like their duration is very short like when you bounce a ball on the floor, it bounce back right away, right? Similar like that, their karma ripen in that way, very swift. Has to go through that kind of karma, but goes in and out very fast, easy.
And when they are in the animal realm, do they think like an animal? Do they
그래서 전주 쌤바도 그냥 돈루기 걔네 개와에 난 그래서 돈루는 시지는 지그래 왜야 현재 전주 쌤바랑 지그래 왜서
전주 셈바 아니 가르쳐 그래. 리더를 넘버진 전주 셈바 야래. 전주 셈바 뭐전 다자 어떤 게 지주 리더를 쓰야지 야래. 리더 넘버랑 띵거리. 리더 넘버 때문에 리더 시행了숨겨지야다. 리더 시행了배 저는부터네 지 가르쳐 그래. 제대 우주 tumbo 비시 신의 지야래. 디나 리다를 루시아 지야래. 다저 좀배 저한테 리다를 루시. 디 리다는 시전에 자서 그래. 디
팬도 지그래
전주 셈바 심지어 돈도 두시 편이야 봐. 두수 자서 그래. 리다는 시지그래. 이내야 디기 리다시안의 저와지야다. 리다시안의 숨겨지야다. 리다시안 람삼불을 치야되는 지기야래.
뭐라서 말다 리다스면 누가 현재 스테이트 리다 야고든지 여러와
예.
Yes, they have to act as an animal, right? And like when bodhisattva they take on animal being as a deer or antelope, we call it deer, right? Deer. They have to eat grass, right? They have to go with essays, even though they are bodhisattvas in animal form, they have to eat grass. They have to go with their herd, right? Herd, and then they have to exactly behave like exactly like animal. They have to behave like exact like animal. Yeah, but animals are not bad all the time. Okay, so especially these animals, like someone who is bodhisattva, they can actually protect their herd right? And they can help this bodhisattva can help other animals instead of, but they can still do like bodhisattva practices, even though they are in animal form.
So you mean that mentally is bodhisattva, physically is
But this is the Malaya. This is the Malaya. Send the changes and but you lead it to do the lagorazo. Lead the Kare Lead the Kare in Chura Kare.
didn't do changes in Bayard. Do we go a shibet? Yari, Lujuyari, Kiramna. What to Mamayari?
And also, there's many story. Buddha Shakyamuni is like Jataka tale. They call Jataka tale their previous life stories. So he was born as a monkey. When he was in the training, in the Bodhisattva training, so he was born as a monkey and help other. Yes, Remu said that there are many Bodhisattvas. They actually take animal forms.
I have one more question. So once you become bodhisattva, once you take on the path of accumulation or path of preparation, after that means it doesn't matter what kind of physical form you take, which realm you went to, your mentally will stay in that status, or your mental will shift as well.
So you're talking about the first two paths, right? Path of preparation and the path of path of accumulation and path of preparation.
So those two are still the initial stage of bodhisattva, right?
No.
No.
They are bodhisattvas.
They are.
Yes. Yes.
So okay, so when you become bodhisattva, let me rephrase my question. Okay, so it doesn't matter which realm you go to. It doesn't mean mentally you will stay at that level, or you will shift, or are you going to be returnals?
Okay. Takona diso takana 전주선 초람다 조람다 여기 전주선 바시고 again 초람다 조람다 전주선 코란조 너무 말아서 말도 전주선만 말했삼도 전주선 말했어 이게 아니
전주선 초람다 조람도 수 전주선 말 대부 진도 초람다 전주선 말 이구야 인도 초람다 란지도 초람도 수 전주선 말이야 말이야
so the 아니 코랑 디워디 디래 그래서 콘조 답변하셔서 깨와 가와르지 주 깨와 가와르지 램바이네 고저 단도의 전주선바랑 지금 전주선바랑 로와스고다
예
okay because the same 전주선바 레스고다 yes let me say yes if someone is entering into the Mahayana path of accumulation, starting from the path of accumulation, right? So all of these are bodhisattvas, period, right? If someone is in what you call this lower vehicle and all the path of preparation, they are not necessarily bodhisattvas. Yeah, this is the one distinction. Okay? And then even though they're born in different realms, intentionally or unintentionally, so there will be always bodhisattva. They're always bodhisattvas because they are in the path.
Should I say you actually, on a gross level, the animal has intention, like makes plans? Because you're saying the animal.
Okay, when they have.
That's what she asked, if the mind is the same regardless of the body. And then she said it just looks and acts and is everything like a animal, but has, positive, virtuous mind, so it protects and does things like that. Which that I can definitely see, but are you saying it has like gross intention where it's thinking and
gross intention?
Like in planning and can make plans. I mean, you can protect, but to think I have to protect.
Oh, that kind of plan, like when you do.
Yeah, like a human.
Okay. That for this word. That morang. That penetration that simjing, judges and like simjing. Tundugi chikawa lembaine. And chikabgire, control simjation or rapachigre, chigre sigora. Pena control the tap and the chair your race. Simjing is all. Touching for that. Telling to shigoras. Tap and the chair yours. Tap we cabby. I think it called Cabgo, near Korea, put Chego. There is some such in Chijo Mare, Porangita, Rangshing, Rangjungi, Yungsha, in the rock. Then they race to go reve, ya. As you pen middle generating robot chairs and tabo robot chairs, something robot chairs and robot chain, some such thing, Chigora. Then they couldn't the day your reverse.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do have that. Yes, same intention like skill, like a human being. Yes.
Let me ask you about the meditation. When merit field, when we dissolve the merit fields, the Buddhas are light already. Why do we have to say, we would think, say, Buddha Shakyamuni or Manjushri melted to light and then dissolved into, but they're already light, so why,
Okay.
when
So you're saying they are
when-
already light.
Yeah,
Light
they're
means
light.
like the luminous light,
Yeah,
right?
so
Okay.
their bodies are light.
Okay.
So when we try to dissolve them into, and then we gradually dissolve the guru and
Yes.
down to the guru, then guru got dissolved to us. Why we keep saying, like say, Yamantaka dissolved into light and light
Enters into you.
and enter into this.
Why we are
Light,
saying
yeah,
light, light,
yeah,
light?
yeah.
We don't need to mention light, light, light.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. But this is what this is what pen choking do go. Choking do zamala. So you think you pen in the manage. GG to which in a reduced that hakarini. That is process of Mambush last week. The tin down. Where do shoe stairs to the water? This is some France or Gita France, some way around she mean by this. Where do shoe catching levels?
왜 쉬우시지? 왜 저런 시즌에 맛 수술 팀바.
Timber. So where do shoe catching levels? Where are she in Barasa? So did it?
왜 그래 시즌에 왜 저런 시즌에 왜 저런 시즌에 아니 시자다 지 야르바. 시자다 지 뭐부지 찬데도 뭐 야르바. 두수파 되게 저버들 내버지. 아니 왜 저런 시를 지당 왜 저런 시를 해대 자료를 지르바
저 왜 그러시? 되게 나오면 도스 거.
근데 되게 그래서 우리 찬제도 시차다 가면도 매버지 이마 디미아들이
So yes, they are actually in luminous kind of nature, right? By their nature, they're luminous. But when we say they dissolve into light, so that means even though they are nature of light, they appear as different hands, different colors. They're holding different implements. They have different faces and stuff like that, right? So, but when we say everything dissolved into light, means that you don't visualize, they don't take on any type of that kind of aspect. No limbs, no face, no color, nothing, just light. Then they dissolve into you.
근데 조신도 수간게 지도를 지키니만 조신만 보여라 지도를 지키 여기는 시를 지도 시자도 라면을 매버 칼람 매버로 내가 팀봐
So then if you look at the merit field, they have many different types of deities in all this color, even though they are light, okay, they have different colors and everything, right? When you begin to dissolve into you, all of this becomes one single dot, light. So that dissolves into you.
I have a question. I was wondering, Rinpoche was talking about Marikpa and then the afflictions and how through this view they're sort of, if you're seeing things from the right perspective, they become the same thing basically.
Same thing means same thing in lack of intrinsic.
Yeah, like
okay.
suffering and
Good and bad something.
become
Okay.
the same thing.
Okay.
I was just wondering if Rinpoche could explain, when you are meditating on this a lot or thinking about it a lot, and then you are making decisions in your life, how do you make decisions when you can't, when you don't really feel like, oh, if it's a good thing,
Okay.
Practical. Like it doesn't matter
Yes,
either way, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
then you just kind of
Okay. This is good. Tapena session that sound and yes, yes, some of the Rangun Madu Barres, Mangu Sura again. Some Rangun Madu Res, Larada. Tapena Morangi Mizen Aula Yatachi, Chevo Sambaina, Chevo Sambaina, the Yagachi, Shioro, Cheshi, the Chevaina. I must do Masama. 타마 탑지들 상마 지바레스 다 당시 메레스 지바레스라 당시 메 지바레라로 다들 야가치네 도가치네 캐바스 개메자니 수수 미제나로 야가도 도가 되니 탕주데 간다 쳐버레스 워다 근데 동반일 마사마 당그로와 당시 메 탑지들 당시 메 라고로 온디
다들 그런 당시 메버다 메버니부터
어디 가가지고 나와디
지버스 당시 메세야 되게 메시기야 말이야 한글로 메시기야 말이야 당시 메스 라도가스 당시 메버다 메버 가가지고 당시기 여버다 여번이 가가지고 그래서 당시기 메버다 메번이 가가지고 당시기 메 예수야 그래서 당시기 메는 메 구비야 말이야 이 자산에 남균에 메버다 당시기 메버를 켜봐야 돼 열이 또 강글로 열이 지 레교와야리 미기와야리 제교와 채는 제부교 대화 인물이 레미교와 채는 제부터 네임 카가 야리.
Okay, so the looks like in terms of your question, so let's just say that is falling towards nihilism. Okay, so when we say all things are basic, basic level or the basic qualities are lack of intrinsic existence, we are not saying there are no bad, there's no good, there's no bad. We're not saying that. We're saying they're not independent, truly good, truly bad. Okay. Now you need to make a distinction between lack of intrinsic existence or non-existence. We are saying there are lack of intrinsic existence, but we are not saying they are non-existence. Okay. And then the existent and truly existent. You need to again make a distinction between existent and truly existent. We're saying they're existing, but they're at the same time we're saying they are not truly existent. Okay. So that means that the basic level, everything is labeled truly existent, but they do exist. There is bad, there's good, and there's a practice of morality, and there's a like a function. There's karma. Karma can produce. All of these are, real, not truly.
But it's all in relation to the way that you're viewing it, though. Like the big stick and the little stick, it's only good in relation to something else that's worse, right? So I guess my question is just when you're making decisions and you're seeing something as good, right? We naturally go towards the thing that we think is good, and then we become attached to it. Is that really good?
Okay.
Does that make any sense at all?
That's fine. Takoran this one. Teacher res ejora. Teacher ring at tungal tungal ring out den shagores larva. Ila sa malta penetration ng anzo namju ta disu siya yapore leka disu siya yapore se ejora. Leka disu siya yapore se di
두부질리다니
두부질다니 yapore larva.
그래.
Dili yaga chiltana ko dugar wasu. Dili yaga chiltana ko teacher shinda chiltana ko dugar se wasu.
데리.
Tati khandes thaji oraso yaga dugadi. Teacher re la sikdi kini ngorda.
그래.
teacher tani duba chigo tani tani dugjari larwa. Chasa juba dila ringdung ikya yawa chiyo mares kain san chiga tani dochi. Di nashi chi yaga se chiyo.
주발이 쇼치야로 어디 그 두두체야
Di laburo me.
다 지다 상부다 상계 구슬 때는 나라도 우리도 좀 내버려 상부탈도 버디 상계 구슬이 있어
Digi gangles sambo me laburo me.
뒤구는 상부디 상부탈도 버디 상계 구슬들이 있어 상계 구슬을 저기 간저 내버려와 수 내버려 Ini ngazu di milu thawa di chewara sigora. Ya di ani ngarazu di kareresena tendu tensa di ngasu milu leto di milu di ludi. Tadi diri. 삼부래. 이내야 삼부 탈도 버티 말이지.
Okay. Yes, let me say the good and bad. We need to compare all the time. So good is always compared with bad. Bad is always compared with good. That is right. You say. But for instance, human being, a human being is something we try to gain. We try to obtain higher regard. Something we call higher regard, right? Because we are comparing it to lower ends. Okay, lower end. Compared to that, that's much better. Much better, and we wanted to get that, right? But you should say this is the best. No, but there are better than that, because if you look at the Buddha's body, Buddha's form, is the most beautiful thing. So if you look at that, that's very ugly. Our human form is very ugly, but it doesn't mean that we should not attach to, we should not wish or to gain that form. But if you look at the lower part, much better. So according to that, we should have human form.
And this one.
Any questions?
Yeah.
We have time?
Okay, yeah.
Rinpoche, the Satantrika existing by its own nature, is that inherent existence to them? Is that
Satantika, you come to Satantika.
Madhyamika Satantrika.
Okay. Tanda di Rangjuba yorwa.
You just said
Ranjuba.
that, Jim.
Into the Satantrika.
Spot.
Satantika.
Yeah.
Okay. Tanda Rangjuba lula. Rangjuba lula ni cho ranguni dup se yorwa. Rangun dup se di ani kalawore. Can you say it again?
Okay, so the Satantrika Madhyamika,
Mm.
they said that things are existing by its own nature,
Okay.
by way of its own nature. Does that mean that to them inherent existence?
Oh, inherent existence. Okay, I got it. Tabena rang ambena cho ranguni dup se yorwa. It's very funny. If you put it in Tibetan, right? I'm sort of like repeating same thing. Okay. So things are what was the can you say it again?
Okay, so
Things are truly existent. No,
they said things are not truly existent, but they exist by their own nature.
their
own
nature.
character.
Okay.
So does that mean that they think
Yes.
that things
On
are
nature. When I
inherent
say
exist-
this in Tibetan, right? On nature and intrinsic existence, they are same. For me, when I do it translation in Tibetan,
Yeah, but
doesn't make
that's
sense. That's why. That's why.
Their own character. So existing by their
Okay.
own
Anyway,
character.
I'll put out your question. I swear. But this is what I'm getting. When Ranjube Lula ya, sure Rangoni dupes larwa. Rangoni dupes di. Rangoni that thingy vegetable sorry. Rangoni dupes Rangon demba dup. Lar vela.
Temba tu silaguya mare. Temba mesi yare. Rangibuge. Rangun tu set rangun tu bata yewa ni chipareta. Rangiba menche ti rangun mena me kusi yare. Thank you pagita. Tawa tosho di ta thank you barba. Rangi mena me kumari singete. Thank you bare.
Yes.
Rangiba menche ti rangi mena me kugri yare. Tika chipare.
The Rangoni dupe na demba dupa ni khasha
Cover.
Okay. In the Satantika school, okay, Rangoni dupe means self.
Self-sufficiency.
No, Rangoni dupe's intrinsic existence, I think. Intrinsic existence. Demba dupe means truly existence. These two are two different things, according to them. They say things are intrinsic existent, but they are not truly existent. They believe things are not truly exist. Yeah, this is the difference. But all the other school, they said, even like Satantika and all of this, right? They said if something is intrinsic existent, it has to be truly exist.
So my follow-up questions though.
Yeah.
So they said, so what's a non-defective mind to the Satantrika? What is that?
Non-defective mind.
Yeah. So the
Okay, non-defective mind. What do you mean non-defective mind means?
So
Someone who never had training or someone
no,
never
that's it. So the truth, the ultimate truth is you have a non-defective mind. You perceive.
Oh, okay, that kind of thing. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So what do
Yes.
they mean by non-defective mind?
okay.
But Samhika
Okay,
is non-defective that you see. Is
When you
non-
see emptiness directly,
yeah.
but you don't have defective
what do-
mind.
Yeah.
That kind of mind you're talking.
Right,
That kind of mind, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So what kind of mind is that?
Okay. 딱 그런 디스 오페나 돈이 모순도 떠오르와. 돈이 모순도 떠오르는 뭐 세매 또 세죠. 세매 또 로레디 칼로레. 딱 칼로 같은 것도 각자다. 근데 개그 매기 배 로베 짱만 지금 떠오르요. 근데 스틱인데 집에 지어야 되는데 스토스. 일로도 간대지를 먼저 시고 그랬어. 무슨 세는 간대지를 먼저 시고 그랬어.
아다
저 같은 제가 가지고 보여 봐. 말이 무슨
이게 발도 지금 발도 맞죠. 제발 또 이제 봐. 배내 접지기 대권들이나 수구를 나눠지 통구야를 봐. 통구야를 차단 통구야를 세부 통구야 말고 이 바라들이 레접지기 권들이나 레접지기 집니 샤도도 통통이 되니 무슨 떠버는 신진의 통매통이 근데 제가 뒤들에 제발 또 인도 잠깐 샤티 또 위에 봐. 또 위에는 이제 뒤지들 전에 뒤지시야 제리. 봐도 레드부 지군데는 샤도 통이 대바도 레드부 지역을 지는 되게 대지 내주 지마지시 통하는 때 계획지기를 봐.
돈지도 되게 없어 와라.
어디 있었지?
다른 것은 더 돈지도 되게 말했어. Okay, so one distinguish like we call it direct perception and indirect perception. Yeah, let's say like emptiness. When we say direct perception is free from any conceptual appearances, any conceptual thoughts. So like right, okay, that is like direct perception. The indirect perception is emptiness. We can see emptiness. What do you call this? Inferential reasoning. Through inferential reasoning. Okay, you can see that emptiness. But when we see that emptiness, we see it with conceptual thoughts, mixed with conceptual thoughts, mentally measured conceptual thoughts. So the analogs for that is that when someone's wearing a very thin, transparent silk cloth, okay, you can see body through that. But there is something obscuring you to see the naked body. But you can see the naked body, but there's something that's obscuring to see the naked body. The direct conception, direct perception has not that kind of layer, and then mixing with the conceptual thoughts.
I got the answer.
Theo le rasta. Sa shi ge jong she na do ta le la li xin min de yan ma ge san ge xin do me de o wa yi do ge nam da xin la jia ba ra sho yi da ma go lo ra na ni ya da ya mi sem jo rembo che